Hey, hello. How are y'all doing? Yeah, I know what to do. Double tap and let me know what program you're in. RN, LPN, BSN, accelerated. What are you doing? What are you doing? If you're not in nursing school, you're welcome to stay as well. If you're anybody who is going to be giving medicine to a patient, you are welcome to attend. Yeah, hey, Yams the unicorn. How are you? How are you doing? Y'all double tap and join in. Share the live, please, and let me know what is going on, what program you're in. RN, LPN, BSN, Accelerated Bridge. Hey, Makisha on YouTube. I'll be starting the Associates program in August. Congratulations on starting your education journey in nursing. I'm so excited you have joined me tonight. And I know you'll be more than ready in August then, because you're starting, what's this, March? Yeah, you'll be ready. You shall be ready. We'll start in just a couple of seconds. How's the semester going with y'all? Infusion? I got some of those. I got some of those. I've got some of those. Work it out. Where's the looking? Boom. We can definitely do some of those tonight. Oh, buddy. I tell you the truth. Ooh, let's do this. Let's do that. And then the rest of them will fall where they may. All right. So, hey, if you have not been here before, I am Nurse C. Hey, Azalea. Drop factor. Okay. I'm Nurse C, a Blood Star in, and I help thousands of nursing students defeat dosage calculations with dimensional analysis, but we don't use math. Well, we use math, but it's not mathy math. Like, it's multiplication and division, addition, and subtraction. So it's easy math that you know how to do, that you're not intimidated by. And you don't have to let math stop you from completing your dream of becoming a nurse, okay? So these are the rules of the game because we're not doing math anymore from this point on. We are completing puzzles, okay? Puzzles. So these are the rules of the puzzles. Always read the question, okay? Read the question. You got to read. So that's step one. Step two, find your goal. What is this question asking for me to solve? That is going to be your goal. That is going to help you pick your puzzle pieces out. And puzzle pieces are pieces of information from the problem that we'll use to fix our equation. It'll help you cut out the fluff. So all that extra stuff that they like to throw in there that confuses you and throws you off, it'll help with that, and it'll help you set up your equation as well. So what do you start with? What comes next? That goal is what's going to help you with all of that, okay? And then we're going to start with the goal always. It's going to be first and it's going to be on top because your goal is to be a nurse, right? You're in school and that's your top priority. So it'll come first and it'll go on top, okay? And then what's together stays together. So if it says in, to go over, per, they're married now. They stay together. They're a pair, right? And so they'll go on their own puzzle piece. And anything that's by itself will stay by itself and it'll go on its own puzzle piece, okay? And then just like you have a piece of the puzzle, you can flip it any way that you need to position it so that it'll be in your equation, okay? So hopefully this will all make sense the more that we go on. If not, just say, hey, wait. All right, let's get started. Boom, boom. Okay, let's start off with some metric conversions. I preach this too. I'm blue in the face. In order to be successful at dosage calculations, you need to know your metric conversions. It's going to make things so much easier for you. So, Miss Makisha Graham on YouTube, uh, start now learning those metric conversions, okay? Hey, I got a 100% on my dosage exam today. Yay! Thank you so much. Your methods help me. Yes. Congratulations, you defeated dosage. I love it. Have I just started? Yes, Mama D. Like Mama D. Like Mama D, Mama D. Like Scrappy Mama D. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start off with a little bit of conversions and then we'll get to some hard things, okay? I have some stuff for you. So just hang tight. All right. I got some minimum and maximum in reconstitution. I have that. I have all of that tonight. I've got dilution. I've got tube feedings. I've got milliliter per hour. I got weight based, microgram per minute, IV completion, volume infused. I got all of that tonight. So yeah, it should be good to you. Should be real good to you. All right. So the first one, let's do 60 milliliters equals how many tablespoons. All right. So our goal, of course, is to get to tablespoons, right? So that's what I'm going to write. My goal. My puzzle piece will be that 60 milliliters that I have to convert. And then I know that I have a conversion from tablespoons to milliliters. So we'll do 1 tablespoon equals how many milliliters? Y'all know how many milliliters is in 1 tablespoon? Do you have like what conversions we should know? Izzy Blood Business. If you go on my website and there's a link on there, I do have like a free cheat sheet download that you can download. And you know when you first start school, they probably give you like a whole kind of just big chart and it's all thrown together. I break it up. And it's more easy to digest little small pieces than just a whole bunch, right? So, and I group it together so you can see the trends. So, how many milliliters is in a tablespoon? So, we know that we have the teaspoon, the tablespoon, and then the ounce, right? So, 5 ml, 15 ml, and 30 ml. So, 1, 1, and 1. So, you see it's 5, 15, 30. Those are your smaller of your household measurements, okay? So we'll put our 15 mLs down here, okay? And so what am I going to start with? This is what a lot of people struggle with. If you struggle with learning or knowing where to start with your equations, put a 1 in the chat, okay? We are always, because that's the one of the rules, right? We're always going to start with our goal, and our goal is tablespoons. So this puzzle piece has the tablespoon in it, okay? I'm going to make it first, and it's going to go on the top. I see you, Jennifer, okay? So 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. So now I have milliliters at the bottom. I've already got my goal. So the goal of the game or the puzzle is to get everything else to cross out except for what you're looking for. And I'm not talking about the numbers. The numbers are going to be important at the end, okay? They're going to be multiplied and divided depending on how you place them with the units. So your units of measures is the driving force behind dimensional analysis. So what's on the bottom has to cancel out with what's on the top if it's not a part of the goal. So you see we've already got tablespoon. So I have to put my 60 milliliters on the top to make it cancel out. And anything that's by itself is single, right? It's 1. So to go on over 1. That 1 is a placeholder. That's going to show you that that number that you just wrote is on the top line of numbers. Because once we get our equation to look just like the goal, which we have tablespoons, everything else is canceled out. Then you do your multiplication across the top, across the bottom, and then you divide the top by the bottom. So this will be 16 divided by 15, which would be 4 tablespoons. Okay? And that's how we're going to do all of our problems tonight, except for the ones that's at the end, because I want to show you the ones that are a little bit tricky. You still can use the dimensional analysis, but for your tube feeding dilution is a little bit easier to use ratio, okay? All right, so boom, the second conversion, we've got 14 ounces equals how many tablespoons, okay? So that's our goal. So once again, we've got 14.5 ounces, and I need to see how many tablespoons is 14.5 ounces, right? So what do we know about an ounce? We know that an ounce is 30 milliliters. And then, okay, I got a milliliter to ounce, I mean to tablespoon conversion too. So I know that 30, no, not 30 milliliters, that's an ounce. 15 milliliters is a tablespoon. So that's how you can tell which ones you need. You just go from unit to unit. What do I know? What does this equal? So what do we have? 1 tablespoon equals 15 mLs, right? Exactly. It was a slip, Mama D. Nursey, I passed my dosage count. Look, that's the second 100 tonight. Yes, 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 yes. Look, I am struggling with a headache. It's been a long day. Why didn't y'all tell me that alternators are like so expensive? Anywho, so we'll do tablespoons, right? So we'll start with the puzzle piece that has your tablespoons in it. So 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. Okay, so you see, we've got the goal. So everything else that comes behind it has to be canceled out. So we've got milliliters at the bottom. This puzzle piece has milliliters. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it so that my milliliters are on the top because I need them to cancel out with the milliliters on the bottom. So now they're gone. Okay, so now I have ounce left. And this is my last puzzle piece with the ounces in it. 14.5 ounces. And remember, because it's by itself, it stays by itself and it will go over 1. So now we have nothing left but tablespoons. So you see, you just piece your puzzle together. Hey, Nisi, how are you? Okay, so we'll do 30 times 14.5 divided by 15, which will be 29 tablespoons. Okay, y'all picking up we start with easier questions like the conversions because you'll need it when you get to the harder questions. When you get the flow of it and how you flip it and what goes on the bottom, what goes on the top, understanding that, then you've got it. Okay, so we'll do one more conversion and then we'll move on to something harder. Okay, so we'll do 8 cups equals how many milliliters? So we're looking for milliliters, right? So we got 8 cups. What do we know about a cup? Does anybody know any conversions for your cups? What does 1 cup equal? What does a cup equal? What does a cup equal? 1 cup equals? Do we know how many milliliters a cup equals? It does equal 8 ounces. We can do that route. Boom. If that's what you know, that's what you know. It also equals 240 milliliters. So we'll do 1 cup equals 8 ounces. And then what do we know about the ounce? The ounce equals 30 mLs. And that's what we're looking for, right? Boom. So we got all our pieces. So once again, we always start with the goal, what it is that we're looking for. So 30 mLs is 1 ounce. And now we've got our goal. So everything else that comes afterwards has to cancel out. So now we've used that puzzle piece. We can use the one with the ounce in it and flip it and put the ounces on the top. Okay, ounces crosses out. And now we got cups on the bottom and we'll put our cups on the top. And because it's by itself, we'll cancel it out and put it over 1 and that's it. Okay, so 30 times 8 would be that many mLs. Are y'all kind of seeing how we do this so far? Is it making sense? Any questions before I move on? Because we go from 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah. Okay. Moving on then. Okay, so tablets is still a little bit easy, but you're going to see how we do this, okay? So 250 micrograms by mouth daily. You have available 0.5 milligram scored tablets. Scored just means that it has that line in the middle and that you can break it, okay? So how many tablets will the nurse administer? All right. So our goal is tablets, okay? Our ordered amount is 250 micrograms. What we have available is 0.5 milligram per tablet. So what are we going to start with if our goal is tablet? Tablet. Don't say nothing about a milligram or a microgram. You start with your goal, okay? So we'll do tablet. over 0.5 milligrams. Now we got milligrams at the bottom. Do we have a puzzle piece with milligrams to put at the top? No. This puzzle piece right here is micrograms. I can't put a microgram on top of a milligram because a microgram is 1,000 times smaller. They have to be the same unit of measure. So I need a conversion. So how do you know what comes next? Look at this bottom piece. We already start with the goal. If you start with what you're looking for, you don't have to go and find it. You know that everything else that comes behind it has to be canceled out. If you don't have the puzzle piece from your problem, use your conversions, okay? So we'll do milligrams on the top. Where did that come from? And micrograms at the bottom. So where does the 1 go? Where does the 1,000 go? So the 1 is always going to go by the bigger of the 2 units, okay? So 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. Takes a bunch of little pieces to come together to make one big thing, okay? So that's how I kind of remember it. And like with the cookie analogy that I at the bottom, we can put our microgram from our order on the top and everything is gone now, okay? Hey Asia, can you do intake and output question? Do I got one? I've got so much. I don't remember if I have one of those, but I'll try to slip one in. Okay. So at the top and 500 at the bottom, that'll be half a tablet that we would give to our patient. Make sense? Oh, you can't stay. Do I have any recordings? Yes, you can go to my YouTube channel. Everybody here, because we don't trust TikTok anymore. I don't trust the government. I don't trust TikTok. I don't trust nobody. And I don't know if they're going to be here past April 5th, but I do have my live streaming currently to my YouTube channel. Hey, YouTubers, thank y'all for joining. And it will be available for the replay after we get done studying tonight. So my handle on YouTube is the same as a blessed RN. Okay. Hey Mar, thank you. Hey Farah, oh, where have you been? I guess you say, where have I been, huh? Alrighty, let's go. Y'all want to do another tablet one, or you want to go into something harder? Y'all let me know. You need help with kilogram per microgram per dose? I have one of those. Another tablet? All right. So, oh, you only studied a week and you got a big Hyundai? That's 3 100s tonight, y'all. Yes, I love it. Hey, Mar, how are you? I still use King Henry diet by drinking chocolate milk microgram. That's fine. However it takes. Whatever it takes for you to memorize it, that's what you go with, okay? Took my dosage calc test 2 weeks ago and passed with, come on. Yay! I'm so excited. All right, so we got 1.5 grams by mouth daily, 250 milligram scored tablets available, and what are we looking for? Tablets, right? Okay, so 1.5 grams is what's ordered. 250 milligrams is in a tablet. So I'm going to always start with my goal first. And this is kind of repetitive, but the more you repeat it, the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. And when you like get this down, don't just think it happens overnight. You have to practice the questions, okay? And that's why I'm saying the steps, same. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's the same thing for like all of these problems, okay? Hey Trinette, how are you? Desired dose over hand. I don't do desired over half. Okay, so this is the thing. When you learn how to do dimensional analysis, you can't be stopped. Desired over half is good and it's easy for the easy ones, but once you get to some of this harder stuff, you're like, well, what do I desire? What do I have? And if you're not really versed at math or comfortable at math, then it gets a little harder. This way, with the puzzle pieces, you couldn't even know what this was talking about. But if you kept what's together with what's together and go for your goal, then you can piece it together. So that's why I really kind of go towards dimensional. So once you learn it, because a lot of people kind of shy away from it because they seem like, oh, it seems like it's tedious, it's long. I don't know how to start, what comes next. Once you get it, you got it, and then you're good. Okay. You got a dosage test coming up, and you're nervous. It's okay. You're gonna rock it. You're gonna rock it. All right. So boom. What are we starting with? Tablet, right? So tablet on the top, 250 milligram on the bottom. Okay, we've used that puzzle piece. Do we have a milligram puzzle piece to put on the top to cancel it out? That's grams. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we have to use our conversion. Okay. So milligrams will go on the top and grams will go on the bottom. Which one is the bigger of the two? Is a gram bigger than a milligram? Yes, it is. The one is going to always go by that bigger unit of measure, okay? Because it takes 1,000 small pieces to come together to make one whole thing, okay? So now milligrams cancels out. We got grams at the bottom, 1.5 grams. And remember, what's by itself stays by itself. So we'll put it over 1. And now we can do the math. So 1,000 times 1.5 divided by 250 equals 6 tabs. Or 6 tablets, whatever you want to call it. You start nursing school in April. Yay. I'm so excited. All these nurses are coming. Ah. You said sure do, Trinette. Yes, I got 100. Oh my gosh. I lost count. Is that 5? Is that 5, y'all? We got all these hundreds coming in here. Yes. Y'all, I made a dosage calculation. Well, 100 on my dosage calculations test too. Okay. Nobody's going to clap for me. I'm clapping myself. Where were you when I needed tutoring in my Chem 110 class? I don't know. I don't know. But if y'all do need help with chemistry, Professor TK the chemist, she's on here on YouTube as well. And she's awesome. Alrighty. So you said, okay, Nisi, does the 1 under 1.5 equal daily? Does the No, the 1 under 1.5 right here. So you look at this puzzle piece. It's nothing that's equal to it, right? It's just by itself. So anything that's by itself stays by itself. A lot of people like to make it equal to something, like weight per day or per something. No, if it's by itself, it stays by itself. That 1 is like a placeholder. So it shows you that whoop, it's on the top. Okay. You say clap, clap. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I don't know how I did it. I guess I studied with Nurse C. Hey, how do you do converting? Anaya, you missed it. I started out with the conversions with tablespoons and ounces. So if you would like to see the replay, I have a conversion video on my channel. I have conversion quizzes on my website, and you can watch the replay on the YouTube. Yep, yep, yep. She said, I'm clapping for all y'all. Oh, hey, do you have a, yeah, I got a drop factor. What about working as an aesthetic nurse? Do you, boo boo? It's a popping field. That's what you like. Yes, go for it. Go for it. All right. Okay. I told you we going from 0 to 100 real quick. All right. So 3.5 grams of drug X in 250 mLs of normal saline IV piggyback over 90 minutes every 8 hours. That's a lot, isn't it? All right. How? Okay, wait a minute. Pause. Somebody said, "How did I get 6?" So you multiply across the top, and then so that's 1,000 times 1.5. Whoa, whoa! What are you doing? Okay, so 1,500, and then across the bottom, 250 times 1 times 1 is 250, and then you just divide the top by the bottom. So 1,000. No, sorry, 1,500 divided by 250 equals 6. Voila. Hey, Lantra. Alrighty. So, milliliter per hour. Here y'all go with these IVs, okay? So, listen. Girl. I've been. It's good to see y'all. I've missed y'all. I haven't done as my lives as frequently. I have been having so many tutoring sessions for everybody who's referred me, told me to your cohort, played my video, shared my video. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, ICU Dynamic Girl. Okay, so listen, you can give an IV two ways. You can give it on a pump or you can give it via gravity. On a pump is going to be an electric infusion device. Gravity, you're going to be counting the drips. Either way, you're looking for volume over time. So for the pump, it's going to be milliliter per hour. For gravity, it's going to be drop per minute. Okay, so let's look at this. 3.5 grams of drug X and 250 mLs of normal saline, IV piggyback, whatever that means. I know what it means, but you like, what is that? 90 minutes every 8 hours. How many milliliters per hour will the nurse set as the rate? So our goal is asking us for a milliliter per hour, okay? So that's volume over time. All right, what do I pick out? What do I use in this question? Am I on question number 4 and I only got 983 likes on TikTok? I know I'm telling you some business. And we've got 500s that don't came across. I know I can get some more likes on here. Thank you. Okay, so listen. Listen. What is the volume in this question? What's the volume? Because volume is milliliter or liter, right? What is the volume? So, Lang, we're going to see. We're going to see. Okay, so this is the volume. What is the time that they wanted to infuse over or to go in the patient's vein? What's the time? Y'all, please excuse me. I'm all nasally and stopped up. 90 minutes. Because it says over. It literally says over 90 minutes. Remember, volume over time. Okay? So let me show you what the fluff is. This is fluff. This is fluff. It's never going to be the every. It's never going to be the every. Every indicates how often you give a dose. So how many doses are in the day. This just tells you that every 8 hours comes across and you're going to give drug X, okay? That's not the one you want. We want how fast they want it to go into the vein, not how many times a day. So you never choose every when you have these milliliters per hour questions, okay? And then why don't you use the grams? Because we need to know about the medicine. Okay, so listen, if you have a little micro swimming pool and that swimming pool has 250 milliliters in it, the drug X are going to be the swimmers swimming around in that. So it's 3.5 grams of them. So if you take the plug out the pool, the water's going to go out and the swimmers are going to go out, right? So you have an IV bag. Your normal saline is the liquid. Your drug X, 3.5 grams, those molecules are swimming around in that liquid. So when you give the liquid, you give the medicine, okay? Does that make sense on why we don't use the grams in this? It's fluff. Fluff, okay? So now we'll do, we got our puzzle. So we got milliliters over minutes. Isn't our goal milliliters over hours? So therefore, we've got to make another conversion. So we'll do 60 minutes equals to 1 hour. And now your minutes cancel out and you have milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom. Puzzle complete. And now we can do the math. Exactly. So we'll do 250 times 60 divided by 90, which is 166.6 repeating. And if we rounded this to the nearest whole number, it would be 167 milliliters per hour. Y'all good? So Lane, you got it right. Congratulations. Any questions? Y'all be making this more harder than what it has to be. So people, when I tutor them, they're like, that's it? Like, yes, that's it. That's it. So you do your volume over your time. And then if you have to do your time conversion, you just do that puzzle piece next. And you make it look like your goal. I just had my nursing school interview today. And this live is making me even more, yay, Jazz. I pray that you get in. I was always taught to round to the nearest 100. So, okay. So however your school rounds, your facility rounds, the hospital that you're working at rounds, that's how you round, okay? Weight base, please. I got some of those coming up. So there is 500 mLs in the bag that is infusing at 55 milliliters per hour. How much longer will it take for the infusion to be complete? Okay, so this is your completion time. So you got an IV running, and it's asking you for the time that it takes to finish it, right? And it says we need to answer in hours and minutes. So they want to know exactly how many hours and exactly how many minutes, okay? So for our goal, we're looking for time. And our time is going to be in hours. I know it says hours and minutes, but listen, when we look for the hours, it's going to give us either one whole number or it's going to give us a whole number with a decimal behind it. That decimal behind it will be your minutes, and we'll convert the decimal number to minutes by multiplying it by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So let me show you. Okay, so what are our puzzle pieces? And if you don't write your puzzle pieces out, try it. If you don't write your goal on the top, try it, right? So we'll do 500 mLs is left in the bag. It's just 500 mLs. It's by itself, right? It's not per, in, over, none of those words. So now we've got 55 milliliters per hour. Okay, so what are we going to start with? The goal. Okay, this piece has our goal in it. I'm going to put it on the top and just flip it. Okay, now I have milliliters on the bottom, so I need milliliters on the top. So 500 ml, and because it's by itself, I'll put it over 1, and now our puzzle is complete. So I'll do 500 divided by 55, and that's going to be 9.09090909. So this part is the hour, this part is the minutes. So I will take every number behind the decimal. I just used 2. If it's big enough to round to the next closest minute, you'll see. It'll be significant, okay? So 0.09 times 60, because there are 60 minutes in an hour. So if this was 9.5, we know that that would be 9 hours and 30 minutes because 0.5 is half and half an hour is 30 minutes. So when we do it like this will give us 5.4 minutes. So I'm just going to round it to 5 minutes, okay? We round it to the nearest minute. So it'll be 9 hours and 5 minutes. Makes sense? Makes dollars make sense? Whoop, whoop. Dimensional analysis never fails. Tell it, tell it, tell it, tell it. Do we always flip our goal? No. You don't always have to flip it because you might have something that you have to start with. You just want your first puzzle piece to have your goal in it and have it on the top. When you start with what you're looking for, you don't have to go and find it. Everything else that comes behind it will have to be canceled out. And this is really helpful for those microgram per kilogram per minute questions, which I have one in here. Okay, y'all good? Alrighty. Oh, come on. The nurses are coming, y'all. Everybody's passing dosage calculations. I'm so excited. Oh, speaking of microgram per kilogram per minute, here we go. Here we go. Your answer needs to be in hours. So hours had to be on the top. Yes. Had to use a lot for chem and physics. Yes. Physics, ugh. That's what stopped me from being a pharmacist. Do you have any percentage increased medication problems? Brianna, I don't have any of those tonight, but I will try to include those on the next one. I have some dilution, tube feeding dilution, the concentration dilution ones. I got Parkland Burn formula. I've got some weight based. I got all kind of stuff, but that one I do not have tonight. All right, so a client who weighs 112 pounds is receiving an IV infusion of drug K at 75 milliliters per hour. IV is labeled with the concentration of drug X, 100 milligrams over 500 mLs. How many mics per kilogram per minute is the client receiving? All right, show of hands. Who think that they can solve this? Who thinks that they can solve this one? And what do y'all feel about, or how do y'all feel about calling patients clients? Like, my patients are my patients. I've been a nurse for 15 years, and I'm like, I just can't get used to the word client. Like, I don't know. It's kind of cringe. All right. So we got a couple of confident people. Some people ain't saying nothing, but that's okay because we're going to put together the puzzle. So we're going to do this the exact same way. If you were here at the beginning of the live with the metric conversions and the tablets, and what we just did was IV rate and then completion time, it's going to be the same way. If you work outside of the hospitals, we call them clients. Okay. Alrighty. So my goal is microgram per kilogram per minute. So microgram will go on the top, kilogram and minute will go on the bottom. Okay, when you have three together, they're like that. Clients make it feel like a business. Yeah, it does. And healthcare is big business. Like, I don't know, you don't want to get to the dark side of it. They're my patients. I thought clients are like home health residents, our nursing home, and patients, our hospital. Yeah, well, they've been using a lot of like the word client on NCLEX and stuff too in like in nursing books. So, anywho, tomato, water off a duck's butt. All right, 112 pounds is the patient's weight. 75 milliliters per hour is how fast it's going. And then we have 100 milligrams per 500 milliliters. Okay, what are we going to start with? Based on the rules of the puzzle, what are we going to start with? See who's been paying attention. Okay, you got it. I like the claps. All right, boom. So we are going to start with microgram, right? Because we're trying to get microgram on the top and kilogram and minute on the bottom, okay? So, do I have a puzzle piece with micrograms in it? Mm-mm, I don't, right? So, my puzzle piece has milligrams. I said micro. I have to start with the conversion. I always start with what I'm looking for. So if you have trouble setting up your equations, start with what you're looking for. You're absolutely right, Chrissy. So 1,000 micrograms is 1 milligram. Now I can put my puzzle piece with the milligrams on the top. So 100 milligrams over 500 milliliters. Now I have milliliters on the bottom. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just going from what's on the bottom. If it's not a part of the goal, it's got to go to the top and get canceled out. I look at my puzzle pieces, boom, I have milliliters in it, right? So 75 milliliters per hour. Milliliters cancels out, and I got hour at the bottom. My goal says I need minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. Boom, boom. All right, so we got micrograms at the top, we got minutes at the bottom. So the only thing left is kilograms, right? And it's got to be at the bottom. So I have my patient's weight in pounds. Am I going to pick up my calculator? No. I pick up the calculator one time. I do one conversion. Your equation, if you haven't noticed, it will take care of all of your conversions for you. Work smart, not hard. You've got how many minutes per question on your test? Use your time wisely. So I'm not going to do any pre-converting. I'm going to put all of my stuff in there and I'm going to do one computation. So I need to convert pounds to kgs, right? Where does the kg go? Does it go on the top or does it go on the bottom? Yes, Courtney, it goes right there on the bottom. 1 kg equals to 2.2 pounds. All right, boom. So we've got the bottom goal, but we've got to get rid of these pounds, right? So where will the pounds go to cross out with the pounds that's on the top? Boom, the bottom. All right, 112 pounds, and then we'll put the one on the top this time. Remember, it was a placeholder on the one for the rest of them. Yeah, now it'll go on the top. So pounds crosses out. Everything is now gone except for what it is that you're looking for. Microgram per kilogram per minute. And we did no math until now. And then I'm going to show you how to do the calculator trick. So to save you some extra time, this is what I like to call the calculator trick. Because normally what you would do is multiply across the top, write down that long number with all those zeros and stuff in it, right? Multiply across the bottom. Write down that long number with all those zeros and stuff in it. Then you put all those zeros and stuff back in the calculator, divide it by the bottom one, right? No. What if you leave out a zero? What if you add in a zero? I keep everything inside the calculator. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in all of my numbers across the top, except for the ones. They don't make a difference. If you want to put the ones in, fine. But anything times itself or divided by itself is going to be itself. So I'm going to do 1,000 times 100 times 75 times 2.2. And then I'll hit divide. You see that big number? I hit divide. So now I'm going to go across the bottom and I'm going to enter my numbers in. I'm going to hit divide in between them. So 500 divide 60 divide 112 equals my answer 4.91. And it says to round to the nearest tenth. So if we're rounding to the 10th, we start at the 10th. We go to its neighbor, the 100th. If it's 4 or below, it's a no-go. It doesn't change. But if it's 5 or more, you raise the score by 1. So this will be 4.9 micrograms per kg per minute. Always label, always round, so that they'll give you all of your points. This is tricky. Really, it can be at first. But once you understand it, it kind of makes sense. And then the light bulb comes on, and then it really makes sense. So if you're not really good at math, because this could have been really, really tough if you were trying to see what was your desire, what would you have, what you're looking for, all of that. How did you know? Wait a minute. How did you know not to put the kg on the top? That's a good question, Chrissy. You see this right here? You see this right here? That is your best friend. That is going to be Simon. And Simon says, put the kgs on the bottom. I want the kgs on the top because what would we be looking for? Micrograms per kilogram per minute. So wherever the goal tells you that unit of measure is supposed to be, whether it's on the top or the bottom, that's where you want it to end up. And we want everything else to be canceled out. And so your numbers will be in place, whether they're on the top or the bottom, so that they're multiplied and divided in order to give you what the question is asking. Why did we put the kg? Okay, I think I just answered both those questions in one answer. I used to hate dosage count, but now I love it. Yay! Me too. Thank you, calculators. We had to do math by hand. Tiana, some people are still making their students do like long division and multiplication. It's crazy. So micrograms will always be on the top. Whatever your goal is will be on the top. So this said microgram per kilogram per minute. That was the first unit of measure in that series of units that it asked for. So that one was going to be on the top. The kgs and the minutes are on the bottom, because in essence it's like microgram divide kilogram divide minute, but you can't like put divide. So that first one is on the top, then the kg slash minute. You make it look so easy. Yes, and you can too. You can be some of these people coming in here with these big hundreds on their dosage calculations. Y'all, yeah, what you think about it so far? We good? Y'all still with me? Chief Keef, are you with me? Whatever Kurt Franklin used to say in the 90s. On average, how long will it take to catch on? Natural Nisi, or Nisi natural. I'm sorry. I said that backwards. I've had people catch, it just depends on the person. Once you get the rules of the game, read it. What's the goal? What's your puzzle pieces? Start with your goal. And you start practicing, it just comes like that. So, I don't know. You on break? Well, enjoy your break. What are you doing studying with me? And so yeah, do practice. Practice makes perfect with this. Even with your other nursing questions, the questions and the rationales, that's how you get good at answering them. I have a workbook with 300 plus questions. It's an ebook, and then there's an actual spiral bound book. That's on my website. I have quizzes on my website, and I have videos too. And then, of course, the live sessions are on the replays on my YouTube channel. Do you always do this, being online, doing math examples? Yes, Martha, this is what I do. How do you, get practice questions like these? I think I just said it, hot cereal. Hot cereal like grits? Okay. A client weighs 108 pounds. The nurse is to start an IV drip at 6 mics per kilogram per minute. IV bag is labeled 150 mgs and 250 mLs of lactated ringers. How many milliliters per hour will the IV infuse? So, this is a weight based IV problem. You're going to need three things, okay? So, we're going to write our goal first. That's first thing is first, milliliter per hour. We need the three P's: the patient's weight, the prescription, and the product. So, the patient weighs 108 pounds. The prescribed amount is 6 micrograms per kilogram per minute. And then our product, which is our medicine, is 150 milligrams in 250 milliliters. Okay. She is the best. Pay attention or book her personal tutor sessions. I passed. Black Beauty. All of that. All of that. All of that. Thank you. Oh, you passed. I just thought about it. Oh my gosh. I knew you were. I wasn't worried about you at all. Okay, I'm sorry. I got excited. Okay. All right. So what are we starting with, y'all? If y'all haven't caught on to what the goal and what we start with by now, just keep on hanging in here with me. What are we starting with? If our goal is milliliter, what are we starting with? You tried to study group. Oh, okay, Nisi. For if you're doing like a group session, it has to be scheduled. Were you trying to study like with your cohort or another group of friends? Cause like, yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so we are going to start with the milliliters. All right, 250 mLs over 150 milligrams. All right, boom. That's the top goal. We already got it, right? So everything else has to cancel out except for hours on the bottom. Now we've got milligrams. Our other puzzle piece has micrograms. Can we put milligrams on top of micrograms? No. We got to do a conversion, right? So 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. Milligrams cancels out. Now I have my micrograms, so I'll put my 6 micrograms per kilogram per minute. Next, micrograms cancels out, and now I have kilogram in minute, right? My patient's weight is in pounds. Excuse me. So now we'll do 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. I'll put my 108 pounds, and I always start writing too far to the left and run out of room. And our last thing that we have to convert is 60 minutes is 1 hour. Okay? So that's it. That's it. I need to make myself move. Boom. Okay? It says minute. It got cut off. But everything is gone now. All right? Okay, so what's your desire? What's your have and your volume? I missed out in the beginning, but why do you put the 250 on the top? Okay, don't pay attention to the numbers. Pay attention to the units of measure. That's the juice behind it, okay? The units of measure. Our goal is to get what the goal is. So the goal is what the question is asking us for, right? Which is milliliter per hour. So that's why I wrote milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom. Okay. So we always start with what has that unit of measure in it, and it'll be first and it'll be on the top because it's on the top, right? And hours on the bottom. So our puzzle piece that had milliliters in it was this part. So we just flipped it and put it on the top. And you're like, can you flip it? Yes, you can. So think about it. Like I said, we're doing puzzles. We're not doing math. If you have a puzzle and it falls out the box, the pieces, they don't all just land in, put together, right? You have to reposition them. But that piece is still that piece. It's just repositioned. So you can reposition this piece to however you need it to fit your puzzle. Okay? So that's why we flip it. So then how I know what comes next is what's at the bottom. Is milligram a part of your goal at the bottom? No, hour is. So it has to be canceled out. And the way that you cancel things out is they have to be the same on the top and on the bottom. Our puzzle piece had micrograms in it. So we couldn't put micrograms on top of milligrams because a microgram is 1,000 times smaller than a milligram. So therefore, we had to use our metric conversion. That's why it's really, really important that you get those under your belt before you start trying to dive into dosage. You got to know your conversions, okay? So then we had milligram on the top and microgram on the bottom. My milligrams are now gone, and now I have micrograms, and that's why I did this piece because it had my micrograms. So everything that's together, it stays together. One band, one sound. They're on one puzzle piece, okay? So then you can cancel out what's on the top and the bottom. Then you had these two things at the bottom. That still doesn't equal hour. So we had to use our patient's weight, but our patient's weight was in pounds. Do I pre-convert my weight before I put it in the equation? No. Why? When the equation will take care of everything for you, and all you have to do is just one computation, one rounding. Because sometimes when you do the 1 kg equals 2.2 pounds and you divide it by 2.2, you get a lot of decimals. Well, what do you cut it off at? What do you round up? Do you round down? Sometimes it changes the answer when you do it like that. So I just put it in there and I just let the equation take care of everything. Okay. So that's why I put my kg on the top and my kg on the bottom canceled out, and you had your weight. So then you can put your pounds on the top and the pounds on the bottom crosses out. And then the last piece was 60 minutes is an hour because we had to get hours at the bottom and we had minutes. So 60 minutes is 1 hour. And now you can do your math. And you know that it's complete. Hey, Barbara, PCA. You know that it's complete when everything is crossed out except for milliliter at the top and hour at the bottom. So you know you haven't skipped a step. You've taken care of everything. Okay, so 250 times 6 times 108 times 60. Look at that number. Big old number that you got to write down. Nope, I hit divide. 150 divided by 1,000 divided by 2.2 equals 29.45. And if we rounded it to the nearest tens place, it'll be 29.5. If we rounded it to the nearest whole number, it'll be 29 milliliters per hour. Boom. Y'all got it? Is it making sense? So you always start with the conversion that your goal is. Yes, you always start with what's on the top. That's going to be first, and it's going to be on the top. You keep your goals first, and they're your top priority. Okay, you can email me. You go by whatever your school, HESI, ATI, however they tell you to round. They should have instructions in the problem, or they'll tell you in your program how to round. I just kind of leave it open because different schools do different things. Lord, do they do different things. Uh, so we can practice it on here because some people don't know how to round, and that's okay because, I mean, we haven't rounded since elementary school, right? And they be embarrassed, but it ain't nothing to be embarrassed about. We gonna learn how to round, okay? So doctor orders 350 milligrams of a drug IV every 4 hours. The child weighs 33 pounds. Safe dose range for this medicine is 25 to 75 milligrams per kilogram per day. Is this a safe dose for this patient? Okay, so this is safe dose range. What we're not going to do is anything with this first, okay? Leave it alone. Leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. Don't touch it. What we want to find out is the green zone and the red zone. What is safe to give the patient, what is not safe. And you use the safe dose range to figure that out, okay? So, I did so much Dutch calc on ATI the last 2 weeks. I feel like I'm a pro. Hey, get it. Will it be multiple choice? Highly doubt it. Yeah, dosage calc is usually not multiple choice. They want you to show your work and how you got it. So I don't think so. All right. So what we'll do is we'll find the range. The range is the limit, right? It's got your lower limit and your upper limit. So we'll find the least that they can have based on the patient or the weight. I mean, based on the weight of the patient and the most that they can have. Okay. So our goal for this one, because it didn't tell us how to divide it up usually, so it just gave us milligram per kilogram per day. So we're going to be looking for how many milligrams per day. Okay. So the least that we can give is 25 milligrams per kilogram per day. Our body weight is 33 pounds. Okay. So what are we going to start with? Hey, Queen, how are you? We're going to start with what's on top. So the milligrams, right? So 25 milligrams per kilogram per day. So now I'll do my weight conversion, which is 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. Since my patient's weight is in pounds, and we'll do 33 pounds. And it's just by itself. It doesn't equal a day, doesn't equal anything. It's just that weight, okay? You don't have to make everything matchy and partner up. Everybody ain't together. Some people are single and they're all right with that, okay? So 25 times 33 divided by 2.2 is going to be 375, okay? And that's milligrams per the whole day. Pay attention to what the wording says in these, okay? Because it could be per day, it could be per dose, and that makes all the world's difference. And the most that we can give is 75 milligrams per kilogram per day. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Everything on the top, on the bottom cancels out except for milligrams per day, right? So 75 times 33 divided by 2.2. And that's going to be 1,125, all right? So we have 375 to 1,125, and that's milligrams per day. So I'm going to, why is this down here like that? I don't like that. Stop. Okay, boom, boom. So this is your green zone, okay? That's what's safe to give to this patient. Anything less than or more than is in the red zone, okay? So let's look at our order now. Now we can touch the order. So this is one dose, okay? If it doesn't have /minute /day /hour, it is assumed to be one dose. So 350 milligrams is one dose, okay? And we are to give one dose every 4 hours. So if there are 24 hours in a day and we give a dose every 4, that means there are 6 doses in the day, okay? So we need to figure out how many doses that how much milligrams they're getting in the whole day, because that was what our safe dose range was in, okay? So if we do 350 times 6, that's going to be 2,100, right? 2,100. So does this number right here fall in the green zone, or does it fall in the red zone? So if 350 times 6, then no, it's not safe. Correct. Where did I get 2.2 pounds? Nay. It's how many pounds are in a kilogram. Because your safe dose range is milligrams per kilogram per day, you need the kilograms of the patient. We here. Hey, Kevin, you know what to do. You know what? Oh, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. So 2,100 is way more than 1,125, right? So it's in the red zone. That means it's not safe. So we will call this doctor up real quick. Like, hey, I can't give this. All righty. Does this make sense? Y'all, if you are in school or you're nearing the end of school, Mr. Kevin here, he is an NCLEX strategist. He will break down those questions, show you how to break down the questions like I'm breaking them down with a goal, and how to see what keywords you look for, how to prioritize, how to pick apart all that stuff, okay? Y'all make sure y'all give him a follow. Hey, we calculated today. Mimi Panini, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a tube feeding question. I have to do a dosage every semester in order to advance. That's common. Yeah, I got a tube feeding one. You're welcome. How are you? Okay. Y'all going so fast. Oh my gosh. Hold on. All right, so you said, can I explain it? All right, so because the dose is 350 milligrams and we give it 6 times a day, it equals to this. We had to see if that drug was safe, and what the safe dose amount was 25 to 75 milligrams per kilogram per day of body weight for the patient. So if this patient is 33 pounds, this is how little they can get for it to work and be therapeutic. This is how much they can get for it to work and not be toxic. Okay, so that's why you have your green zone, which is safe. So anything that's at or in between those numbers is safe. Anything outside of it is not safe. Okay, so, oh, you thought I was on the weight still? I'm sorry. Oh, well, okay, 1 kilogram. So 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. That's part of your metric conversions. Your patient's weight is 33 pounds. So we had 25 milligrams per kilogram per day. So the kgs were on the bottom. So what's on the bottom has to go on the top if it's not part of the goal. Milligrams could stay because, boom, that was the goal. Day could stay because, boom, that was the goal. So the kilograms had to cancel out and it converts your weight inside the equation. They don't even teach us this. We have to learn it by ourselves, man. Come see me. Come see me. Yes, and 4 times a day is 6. Divide the every 24 hours by a day. Yes. Why 6 days and not 7? Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I froze up. What is 6 days? I don't see where 6 days was. Were you talking to me? Oh, why 6 doses and not 7 doses? Because you give a dose every 4 hours. 24 hours is in a day. You give one dose every 4 hours. So 4 hours comes around, dose. 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 That's 6. So 24 hours in a day divided by how often you give the drug is it'll give you how many doses are in a day. That's what's called your frequency. Anything that has every in front of it is going to be your frequency, and that's how you figure it out. And the BID, TID, QID, those are also your SIC codes. And BID, bi, like bicycle, 2, so that's 2 times a day. TID, tri, 3 times a day. 4, QID, quad. Okay. Alrighty. Y'all want to do another safe dose? Yes, we are on YouTube Live. Thank you, YouTubers, for tuning in and sticking with me. I appreciate y'all. So this will be on the replay after we get done studying. Alrighty. A doctor orders a drug for a child that weighs 66 pounds. Safe dose range for this med is 10 to 12 milligrams per kilogram per day. What is the maximum safe dose for this child? Okay, so what are we looking for? It is just asking us what is the most that they can give. So you got 10 and you got 12. 12 is more than 10, right? So that's the max. The max. Take it to the max. All right. So we've got a goal and we have milligrams per day. All righty. So we'll do it the same way that we set it up on the other one. So we know our patient's weight is 66 pounds and the most that we can give is 12 milligrams per kilogram per day. So my 12 mgs will go on the top, kg and day will go on the bottom. My patient's weight is in pounds. I need it to be in kilograms. So 1 kg is 2.2 pounds. If you don't know any other conversion, that's the one that I think you'll use the most. Okay, so 66 pounds over 1. And now you have milligram on the top and day on the bottom. And so we'll do 12 times 66 divided by 2.2, which would be 360 milligrams per day. That is the max. Take it to the max. Okay? Bless it, take that kg out because you used the weight. Take your kg out. They might be petty enough and take the point out if you mislabel. Y'all, that is so sad to me. Like when you set it up right and they just take it off because you didn't round or label. But I get it, but still, like, All right, a medication order states to give oxytocin 20 milliliter units IV per minute. Anybody in OB and peds right now? The medication is available as 10 units per 500 milliliters in normal saline. How many milliliters per hour will the nurse set on the IV pump? Pump it up. Pump it up. Boom. Go. Milliliter per hour. You hate it? Yeah, that was my Achilles heel in school too. Okay? So, what's together? Remember, you keep together what's together, right? So, 20 milliunits per minute. Okay? That per, in, over. Those are your wedding ring words, okay? That means that they're together. You got the goal, right? Hey, okay, that's the first step, right? So now we got to get the puzzle pieces. So I want to point out something too before I get too far gone. Because you're probably looking at milliunits and like, what the freak frag nabbit is a milliunit, right? So just like you have 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams, right? 1 unit is 1,000 milliunits. Okay? Just because it changed out that base unit of measure does not change the prefix that went in front of it. So when you have something that's like unit and milliunit, it's the same song, different tune, okay? Same tune, different song, whatever, you know what I'm saying? All right, so now our other puzzle piece is our medicine, right? 10 units per 500 ml. Okay, so how are we going to set this up? What are we going to start with? Okay, 500 mLs over 10 units. Now, do we have units? No, we have milliunits. So what did I just say? Ain't it the same as gram and milligram? Unit, milliunit? Okay. So 1 unit is 1,000. I'm not finna write out milliunits again. It's MU, okay? So now we've got 20 MUs per minute, right? Your milliunits crossed out. And now our goal at the bottom, because we always start with the top goal. So if you start what you're looking for, you don't have to go and find it. So the only other goal is at the bottom, which is hour. I have minutes at the bottom. So I'll do 60 minutes is 1 hour. Boom, boom. And now you have milliliter on the top and hour on the bottom. And you have not done that a lick of math until now. All right, so 500 times 20 times 60 divided by 10 divided by 1,000 equals the answer. Okay, I kind of put it together. It'll come. The more that you practice, the more that you get familiar with how the wording is and what it's asking for. Yeah. Yep. Y'all got it? Any questions? Who got 2.4? Somebody said 2.4 twice. You put in a zero somewhere. Somewhere you left out a zero, you added a zero. A zero can make a big difference. So I'm going to do it again. 500 times 20 times 60 divided by 10 divided by 1,000. And I got 60. Because I had to double check too sometimes. I'm trying to see that my friend over here got 2 point something. Maybe they didn't add in the other part. Nope, that's still something different. Okay, makes sense, makes dollars, makes sense. So you see, we done like a whole bunch of different types of problems, but we do it the same exact way every single time. That's what I really love about this method. Okay, So, Reconstitution be having y'all by the neck, okay? Listen to me when I say this. Reconstitution. The only thing you have to concentrate on is the concentration. Huh? Concentrate on the concentration. The concentration of the medicine after whatever liquid is added to the powder and shook and exists. Okay? The doctor orders drug B, 10 milligrams IV 3 times a day. Instructions on the 1 gram container say to reconstitute with 4.6 mLs of bacteriostatic water to make a concentration of 2.5 mgs per ml. You would administer how many milliliters per dose? All right, so first things first. Hey, Nurse Sam. Yes, y'all, if y'all need help with pharmacology, anything in nursing school, Nurse Sam has like games that you can play. I like joining in her pharmacology bingo. I'd be a little rusty on some things, so it's fun to like bring it back to remembrance. So y'all make sure y'all follow the Nurse Sam. Let me see, can I pin you at the top? Pin. There she is. There she is. Okay. So what's our goal? What are we looking for? You make these so easy and simple to understand. I need you to put you in my pocket when I apply. Yes, put me in your pocket. All right. Call me, beat me. All right. So what we look for? Milliliters per dose. Milliliters per dose. All right. So what is the order amount? What's the order? 10 milligrams, right? And remember, if it does not have /minute/day/hour behind it, that is one dose. So 10 milligrams is one dose, right? Is the goal asking about milliliter per day? No. So do we need to know how many times is given in a day? No, don't put that in there. That's how you use the goal to identify the fluff, okay? We're looking for one dose because our goal has dose in it and our puzzle piece has dose in it. We did not need all of that I crossed out, okay? So what else is fluff? 1 gram and 4.6 milliliters. You don't need that. The only thing you need is the C word. Remember, I told you to concentrate on the concentration. How many milligrams per milliliter? How many grams per milliliter? How many milliequivalents per liter? However many floating medicine particles per the liquid that it's floating in. That is the only thing that you need in these reconstitution questions, okay? So 2.5 milligrams per milliliter. Okay, now we can set it up like we've normally been setting this up. So if I need milliliter at the top, I'm going to flip this one, boom, and put my 2.5 milligrams on the bottom. And I'll use this one because I have milligrams that's ordered per dose. And now you see I have milliliter at the top and dose at the bottom. And my milligrams cancels out. So it's going to be 10 divided by 2.5. I think I know that. I think it's 4. Boom. Sometimes I have to double check my simple math though. So 4 milliliters per dose. Do y'all understand what I am saying about reconstitution? Hey, okay. Yeah? Any questions? Did I just blow your mind? You only need the concentration. Concentrate on the concentration. How many grams is in the bottle? How much water or bacteriostatic normal saline or whatever you add? That's important. That's important for when I go to work, right? And I shake it up and I have to follow the directions. But I need to know what is that medicine that I'm giving. The concentration. Concentrate on the concentration. That's it. I think the hardest is trying to figure out what's the fluff and what's not the fluff. Tiana, when you look, your goal has to be your best friend, okay? That's going to help you set up the problem. You see, it's helping us pick out our puzzle pieces, and you see that it's helping us pick out the fluff too. If it's not part of the goal, it ain't got nothing to do with it, then boom. Just like those grams were swimming around in the medicine for the IV flow rate. Did that goal ask you about grams, milligrams, micrograms? No, it was fluff. Hey, who's that? Oh, you stealing. Okay. Oh, that's just so silly. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Reconstitution. Here's another one. All right. So, the doctor orders drug B, 10 milligrams IV 3 times a day. All right. Drug B is real popular. All right. Instructions on the 0.25 gram container say to reconstitute with water to make a concentration of 0.53, well, zero point 0.5 grams per 3 milliliter. You would administer how many milliliters per dose? Okay, so first things first, get used to writing that goal, milliliter per dose. So I just need milliliter for one dose, not the whole day, right? So anything that's got day in it, I don't need. So 10 mg's is one dose. You see how I use the goal to eliminate that fluff? Use your goal, okay? So then we've got 0.25 grams on the container. Do I care about that? No, I need the concentration. Boom. C word. Concentrate on the concentration. So 0.53, well, zero point 0.5 grams per 3 mLs. I don't know why I want to keep making it 0.53. All right, so set it up how we've been setting it up. So 3 ml over zero point 0.5 grams. Now we've got grams on the bottom, so we need grams on the top. Do we have grams in our puzzle piece? No, we got milligrams. So what do we need? A conversion. All right, so 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams because I have milligrams right here. So now I can put my 10 milligrams on the top over one dose because that's how much is ordered for one dose. Now I have milliliters for one dose. Boom. So 3 times 10 divided by 0.5. 60. No, whoa. I messed up. I didn't do my 1,000. Oh, 3 times 10 divided by 0.5 divided by 1,000. Got to put everything on the bottom. So it's 0.06. Which would be 0.1. Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's where I get confused. Where did you get confused, realist? I'm hot. Y'all, this weather is so up and down. It's supposed to be so bad this weekend. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So would you round it? If it tells you to round, if not, leave it alone. Whoever has the power to fail or pass you, that's how you round. It follow the rounding directions, okay? Writing the conversion out, yeah. So just see, so you see how we just go by puzzle piece. What's on the bottom? It's not dose, so we know it's got to go where on the top. So do I have a puzzle piece over here that has that in there? Nope. If you don't have it from the problem, use your conversion. And then you see that its cousin milligram was sitting right there, so they're related, right? So I do the conversion from gram to milligram. Then milligram was at the bottom. It's not a part of the, it's not dose. It's not a part of the goal, right? So boom, it'll go on the top. So it'll get canceled out. And then now you have dose at the bottom. You see, you're just trying to get your equation to look like what your goal is. Okay? All right. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Okay, now here's something different. Oh, this is something different. I don't usually do some of these, but some people been asking for them, and I said, okay. Is thinking of conversion like a ratio helpful? Yes, yes. So what equals what? So okay, pause, y'all. So let's get these conversions out the way because they don't need to be hard. Okay, you see, we've done all types from like tablets to like microgram per kilogram per minute, right? And you see, there's only like a handful that you really use. Of course, that 1 kg is 2.2 pounds, right? And so your grams and your milligrams and your micrograms, right? So if you have 1 gram, right? That equals 1,000 microgram. I mean 1,000 milligrams. If you have 1 milligram, that equals 1,000 micrograms. If you have 1 kilogram, that equals 1,000 grams. So you see, it's 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000. Okay. The one goes by the bigger unit because it takes 1,000 of the smaller ones to come together to make one. So that's how you can remember that, 1 to 1,000, okay? For your grams, your milligrams, and your micrograms. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Did it click? I'm telling you, when the light comes on, oh my gosh. Do I have problems with grains? No, I don't really. Because a lot of people don't even use them. I like bring them up in the study session. They're like, we don't use that. I'm like, okay, skip past it. But 1 grain equals 60 milligrams. And you can remember it like a clock. Okay, so this one. The patient is to receive an enteral tube feeding a 3/4 strength Jevity at 50 milliliters per hour through a PEG tube. The can of Jevity is 237 milliliters. How much water will the nurse add to administer the prescribed dose? Okay, so what's going on here? You have Jevity, okay? And you got to make it 3/4 strength, okay? So the whole amount is going to be used. That makes sense? So anything to weaken it, because you weaken stuff when you add water to it, that's how you dilute it, right? So we need to see how much water to add that will be that fourth to the Jevity. So if you have this one, I'm gonna use ratio with it, okay? So 3/4. Uh-oh. So you got 3/4. So 4 is all together. We got to add water to it. So that's going to be the fourth part of it. So 3/4, 3 out of those fourths is going to be the Jevity. Okay? Because we got to use the whole thing. And then we need to add water to it. So we need to see how much water we need to add to it. Okay? So we'll use a ratio for this one because it's easier to see and set up. So you got 3x because you cross multiply. And then whatever 237 times 4 is. It's 948. Okay? So you divide it by 3. So that's going to be 316. So this is your total amount of feeding with the water in it. So in order to find the water, you take the total amount, which is that 316 minus the Jevity, which is going to be, I think, 79 milliliters of water. Okay? Does this make sense? It was something new. Hey, thank you. I'll walk back through it because, like I said, I don't really do tube feedings on here, but yeah, it's new. It is new, yeah. But it's, a lot of people have been coming across it, so yeah. So how would you answer that if 3/4 was a whole number? If possible, can you explain that? Okay, let me read it again. How would you answer that if 3/4 was a whole number? You mean like a decimal? Is that what you mean? Like not in fraction form? I don't know. I don't know. Can we do bolus and infusion? Are you talking about heparin for bolus and infusion? I'm trying to see what Ashley is talking about. Can I explain the 79 milliliters? Okay. I'm a draw. Okay. Y'all gotta promise me if I draw, you won't laugh at it. You promise? Cancel my question. Okay. All right. Boom. All right. So let's start it over. Oh my gosh. I'm opening myself up to you. I'm drawing in front of y'all. Oh! Oh! Okay. All right. All right. Okay, so you have a patient and they got a peg tube, right? And you've got this little bottle. Mm-mm-mm. Whoop. I said don't laugh. And in this bottle is 370 milliliters of tube feeding. Okay, they want this whole thing of tube feeding, but that's a full strength. So this is full strength. We need to weaken it so that it's 3/4 strengths. Okay, so we gotta add water to it. So if you've got, oh my gosh, this is awful. I'm finna go. I'm finna go. I'm finna log off. I'm finna log. I'm finna log off. I'm going. I'm going. Okay, so if you got three, that's four parts, right? So three of those parts are going to be longevity. This one part is going to be water. Okay? So that's why we have to set up the ratio of 3/4. Okay, so three out of those four, exactly. It's not like a flush. Because of course, the little bun falling apart. Oh, I'm falling apart. I'm drawing and I'm falling apart. Lord, it's just going downhill. Okay, so listen. All right, so three out of those four parts is longevity. We need to figure out that one part that's going to be water. Okay, so it's not a flush. It's basically diluting it. Okay, all right. So 3/4. So remember, three out that four is longevity. So that's going to be those 237 milliliters, right? So this other part is going to give us all of it because the four is the whole amount, okay? So that's why it's going to give us the whole amount. So we'll do 3x, and then what was it? Where's my calculator? Oh, 237 times 4. So 948. Okay? So then you solve x by doing what you do to one side to the other side of the equation. And that's going to be 316 milliliters altogether. So that whole square is 316 milliliters. Three parts out of that square is longevity, which is that number. So that's why we need to subtract it to get that last part. So 316, whoa, 316 minus 237, not 217. 316. 316. Now I'm getting my numbers. 316 minus 237. Boom. Which is going to be 79 milliliters of H2O. So it's 79 milliliters right there. Okay? So they got the whole bottle, but they don't want that full strength. We got to weaken it. So they want three parts of that longevity, one part of it water. So we don't know the whole number. We just know that we have the three part of it as longevity. So that's why it went on the top, because that's just part of it. The number that's on the bottom will always be the whole amount. Okay? And I'm going to show you how that one looks too. Does that make sense? She said, "You're doing great, sweetheart." Oh my gosh. Oh, wait a minute. Let me put this puzzle piece. Oh gosh. Gotta put the puzzle piece on here. Okay. Okay. Alright. It's on the replay and all of my embarrassing moments too. Boom. That's not what I need next. But I wanted to show you this other tube feeding one. Okay. Tube feeding. So a patient with a G tube has 350 milliliter bolus feeding of glucerna 65%. The nurse should dilute the full strength formula with how many milliliters of water? So this one, the whole amount is 350 milliliters. Okay? We want glucerna to be 65% of that. Okay? Make sense? So the whole amount is 350. What is 60%? 60 over 100, right? So then you cross multiply. So it's 100x times whatever this is. 350 times 60. So divide each side by 100. So x is 210. Okay. Oh, it did say 65. All right, my bad. Look, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. So let's put 65. All right. 65%. Okay. So we'll do 65 times 350, which is 222,750 equals 100x. Still divide each side by 100 to isolate x. That's going to be 227.5, right? So this part is the glucerna. That's 60% of 65% of the 350. So now you take the whole amount, which is the 350, minus the 227.5, and that's going to give you your water. 350 minus 227.5, which is 122.5 milliliters of water. Okay? I see it, y'all. I see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this one had the whole number in it. So I think that's what you were kind of asking on the other one. Ooh, but does it make sense? So this one gave us the whole amount. And they said they only wanted it to be this much. So that's why the whole amount goes on the bottom. Whole amount. The other one, we didn't know the whole amount. So it went on the top because it was 3 out of those 4 pieces. Make sense? I try to break it down as best as I can. Look, I draw it and everything, okay? You can do 350 times 0.65, exactly. But I like to set up with the ratio so you know which one to put on the top, which one to put on the bottom, because it does make a difference. And to find whatever the water is, you just take whatever the glucerna is and the whole amount and you subtract it. Boom. All right, now that I've embarrassed myself, thank you. Let's do some more. Okay, so volume infused. This be tripping a lot of people up too, okay? You know how to read, you know how to write, you got arithmetic, and you got common sense, okay? Use it when you're doing these problems. Understand what it was talking about. Okay, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube. I think I watched you last time and I did GTT and I passed. Oh, shoot. You're welcome. My drawing was stellar. Thank you, CC Shepherd. All right, I appreciate it. I tried my best. I gave it my all. That's all I can give, right? A patient has 1,000 mLs of normal saline remaining at 1,400. That's the time, right? So the IV is running at 50 milliliters per hour. At 1,600, the provider orders the rate to increase to 125 milliliters per hour for 3 hours, then decrease to 80 milliliters per hour. They doing too much. Set it and forget it. Okay, but anywho, how many milliliters remain in the bag at the end of the shift? Okay, so let's look at it. So at 2 o'clock, they got 1,000 milliliters in the bag, okay? So it's running at 50 milliliters per hour until 4 o'clock, okay? So from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that's 2 hours, right? So if you've got 50 milliliters per hour and you've got 2 hours, that means that that's 100 milliliters right there that they have gotten infused. Okay? So then at 4 o'clock, he wants you to increase it from 50 milliliters an hour to 125 milliliters per hour for just 3 hours. So now we're at 4 o'clock, right? The question tells us that we need to see what's the end of the bag to 7 o'clock. So we go from 4 o'clock, which is 1600, to 19. That's 17. That's 7 o'clock in military time, right? We're going from 3 hours. So we're only going to need this. This part is after we have clocked out. We don't took our ponytails out. We took that wig off and we put them Crocs on and we went home. So that is not part of what we need for this question. You have to pay attention to the details, okay? So we're only going up until 7 p.m. when it's time to go. So we had 125 milliliters per hour. And for how many hours? 3. So your hours cancel out. So you see, it's the same thing. You're looking for milliliters, you got your time. So what's 125 times 3 is 375. So you just add those together. So how many milliliters remain at the bag at the end of the shift? So we need to see what remains, right? So in order to see what remains, we got to see what was given. So we had 100 milliliters per hour from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then 375 milliliters per hour from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We add that together, and that's 475 milliliters. It says that we started with 1,000 milliliters, right? So if we gave 475 milliliters, that's going to be 525 milliliters that's left in the bag. That's how you do these types of problems. You have to pay attention to the times, the start times, and the start amounts. Because, yeah, I'm seeing more and more of these types of problems when I do tutoring sessions with students. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Just break it down and pay attention to the volumes that are infused and the times. You say you lost, okay? So let's go back. Take it back, take it back, take it back. It pays to read the whole sentence. A lot of people just want to zoom through and go to the end, and then you want to go back through the problem. Read the problem. Read all of it, okay? That was the first step. Read the problem. Then you find the goal, right? So this one, it's got 100 milliliters to start, right? And this is the start time. Start time. Boom. Right? So then it goes at 50 milliliters per hour. Then you change. Delta means change, right? So you changed it at 4 o'clock to go to this for 3 hours. And then after those 3 hours, you decrease it to this, okay? So how many milliliters remain in the bag at the end of the shift, which is 1900. So we're only going up to 1900, okay? So if we start at 2 o'clock and we go to 4 o'clock, because that's where the delta was, that's where the change was, that was 2 hours that it was running at this rate. So if my goal is to see how many milliliters was given, right? We got 50 ml per hour times 2 hours. Boom. Hours cancels out and they gave you 100 milliliters. So then at 4 o'clock, you went in there, you bumped it up to 125 milliliters per hour. And it says you had to keep it at that rate for 3 hours. So how many milliliters did they get then? Right? What was that? I don't know. 375, right? So it says then they want you to bump it back down to 80 milliliters per hour. But that's at what? 7 o'clock. Because if you changed it at 4 o'clock and it ran for 3 hours, now you're at 1700. So this right here is none of your business. That's for the night nurse. Do 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 do. Boom. So now you add together what has been given to the patient out of that bag, which was 475. You started with 1,000 milliliters in the bag. You gave 475. So what was left was 525 in the bag. How do I sub to a tutoring program with you? I'll pay. You just go on my website. My website. And y'all, I have an ebook, I have a spiral bound book, I do private tutoring. Yeah, let's get it. Let's defeat this dosage. Sky! Oh my gosh. Can you repeat how you knew not to use the 80? Yes. So let me take some of the scribble scrabble off. Boom. All right. So you see how it says at 1600 the provider orders the rate to increase to this for this many hours. So it says a specific time, right? So from 1600 plus 3 hours, that's going to be 1900, right? It says then decrease it to 80 milliliters per hour. From 1600 to for 3 hours, that's 1900. So this is after you have left. This is after you have gotten report. The folks was asking you, are you coming back tomorrow because you were such a good nurse? You say no. And they ask, can they find you on social media? You say no. And then you go to your car and you take them dirty shoes off from the hospital and you put your Crocs that you drive home in and you go home. That's the night nurse giving that 80 milliliters per hour. That's not you. You're gone. That's the end of the shift. So you only look at the times and the parameters for what's ordered. Oh, I just was trying to see if y'all still with me. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So that's how you do those. You got to pay attention to the times and the amounts and exactly what it's asking for. You always give it what it's asking for. Nothing more and nothing less. I was about to say. Oh, okay. So now the nurse, okay, so this is kind of like one like that too, right? So I told you I was doing some different ones, y'all. Y'all like these little the different ones, the feedings and the infusion times and all that. The nurse is preparing the change of shift report for a client who has 750 milliliters of secondary infusion that was started 5 hours ago at the rate of 50 milliliters per hour via IV infusion pump. The nurse should report how many milliliters remain to be infused by the oncoming nurse. Okay, so this is kind of like that one. They just didn't have all those different time changes and rate changes. Because I don't know what that doctor was on. Let's bump it up, then bump it back down, this and all that. And like, okay, sir, now I got to set times on my phones. Okay, but I'll do it. You ordered, I'll do it. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for the milliliters, okay? So this is what you start with. 750 mLs, okay? It was started 5 hours ago and it was going at the rate of 50 milliliters per hour. So we need to see how much was given. So 5 hours is how long it's been running at 50 milliliters per hour. So you're looking for your milliliters. So your milliliters are at the top, right? Is that 250? Is that 250? 250? I think it is. Okay, I was right. It's late. Okay. So we got 250 mLs. Okay. So if you started with 750 and 250 have infused, then that's 500 that's left for the oncoming nurse. Okay. That's how you do those. So you see kind of a visual with it. You got an IV going into the patient. It's going this fast. Every hour they get 50 milliliters. Every hour, 50 milliliters, 50 milliliters, 50 milliliters. Okay. So then you're like, okay, well, I started my bag at 750. If they got 50 milliliters for 5 hours, then this much has gone into the patient's veins. If you start with this and you subtract this, then you're left with this. Yes, learn it early, and then you get into class and stun on them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But you'll be you'll be ready. You'll be ready. Okay. All right. Any questions about this one? Okay. I'm taking my foundations class right now. Cool. Oh, you had your first clinical. How was it? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Clinicals, y'all take advantage of your clinicals. Like this is the only time in your life where you're gonna be like in the know, in the setting, and be up close and personal, and you're not responsible for doing something. Like you're not the licensed personnel. Make the most of your clinicals. Follow those nurses. They not there to be your friend. I don't care. They talk to you. They say, "Oh, it's the nurses." No, this the student nurses. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah. They're not your business, and you're not their business. You're just trying to see what they do. Okay, getting those charts, looking at history and the physical. Why is this stopped? Why is this being done? Like all of that. I'm screaming. Oh my gosh, I'm cutting up too much. I need to. Okay. All right. A client is receiving an IV solution of dextrose 5 D5W in water. So that's what D5W is, right? 500 milliliters with lidocaine, 2 grams at 25 milliliters per hour. How many milligrams per minute of lidocaine is infusing? Okay. Absolutely. I was my only nursing student that charted today. Cool. Yes, charting. When do you know to count the hours in the equation? Like when to use? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to read your question again. When do you know how to count the hours in the equation? Like when to use it? So, like in that last one, like the one that was before the last one, it says it goes if you start at a time and then you go to a time. If you start then you go, then that's it. You had a change. So you had an initial amount and then you had a change. So from however much you started with to that change is a time. And then you have from that change to that other change was a time. So that's how you block those off. That makes sense. If I'm answering your question, how I'm thinking that you're asking it. All right. So what is our goal here? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? What is the goal? Hey, love. Mm-hmm. All right, milligrams per minute. Okay, so what are our puzzle pieces? Remember those wedding ring words. What combines two things? Okay, so we got 500 milliliters, and it's got lidocaine swimming around in it, and so with, in, per. That's the joining words, right? So they're partnered up. So then we have 25 milliliters per hour. Per hour. Okay. So that's all it gave us, right? What are we going to do? Because we got something with grams in it and we need something with milligrams in it because that's our goal, right? Our goal is to have milligrams. So we always start with the goal. Convert. Yes, CC Shepherd. So what do we have? We got grams, right? So we'll do 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. Now we could take this buddy right here and we can flip it so that our grams will be on top so they'll cancel out with the grams on the bottom. Now we've got milliliter on the bottom. We need minute on the bottom. It's not minute, so I've got something with milliliter in it. So 25 milliliters per hour. My milliliters cancels out. Now I've got my hour at the bottom. I need minute. So one last conversion. Boom, boom. And now we have milligram on the top. Boom. And minute on the bottom. Boom, boom. Okay. 1000 times 2 times 25 divided by 500 divided by 60. Whoo. So, and then it says to round to the nearest tenth, right? So 1.6666666666. So we round to the tenth, go to the next place over, and then we have 1.7. Mm-hmm. So you see that no matter what it asks for, oh, you just joined in? Oh no. Okay, so the replay is available on my YouTube channel, A Blessed RN. I have a whole kind of breakdown on the method that I'm using. It's my puzzle piece method. I have a workbook that goes with it. I have videos, I have quizzes, like the whole shebang, right? So what we're doing is we're piecing together these problems like a puzzle. And we want our puzzle to look like the picture on the puzzle box, which is the goal. The goal is what the question is asking you for. So that's why we have our puzzle pieces over here, our goal right here. We always start with what is in the goal, what's first and on top. So we didn't have a puzzle piece with milligrams in it. It had grams. So that's why we started with a conversion, okay? So 1000 milligrams is 1 gram. Then we use this. And any piece that you have, what's together stays together, and they can flip it, right? They're together, they're married, they're a couple. You know, sometimes somebody's on top, somebody's on the bottom, sometimes somebody's on the bottom, somebody's on top. But they still together, right? So keep that same concept, okay? They either one of them can be on the top. You can flip them, okay? I like to put the hay where the goats can get it, okay? Whatever, however, you're going to remember your dosage calculations with cookies, puzzle pieces, couples, whatever, okay? So then we had gram on the bottom, and that's why we used our piece and we flipped it to put the gram on the bottom. Whatever your unit is that is then on the bottom, if it's not minute, because we always start with the goal, so we're always going to have our top goal first. So you know that everything afterwards is going to have to cancel out, and they cancel out by having the same thing on the top and on the bottom. And so we needed milliliters, so that's where our milliliters came from this puzzle piece. And we had hours on the bottom, but we needed minute. So then we put our hour on the top, and our 60 minutes is equal to an hour. So your puzzle pieces are either pieces from the problem or your conversions. Your time conversions, distance, weight, mass, volume, whatever, equals to each other. Okay? Hey, love, just pass my... That's another 100. Look at there. The nurses are coming, baby. Yes! Congratulations, Destiny. Oh, my gosh. They go together real bad. Exactly. I didn't say it tonight. Go together real bad. I'm doing this in chemistry, and it's so hard to remember. What's hard to remember, Jillian? The conversions or, like, how to set it up? Where'd you get 1000 from? So we needed... Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. Because now I don't scribble everywhere. Okay, so look. The goal is milligrams per minute. Okay? So we keep pairs, couples together. Okay? What's together stays together. When you see with, in, over, per, those are your wedding ring words. Wedding ring words. I can't even say wedding ring words. Boom. It's like a Dr. Seuss book. All right. So 500 milliliters has lidocaine in it. So 2 grams of it. So 500 milliliters has 2 grams of lidocaine swimming in it. Then it's going at 25 milliliters in the IV on the pump, okay? So we are trying to see how many milligrams per minute they are getting. The top goal is milligrams, the bottom is minutes. So everything has to cancel out on the top except for milligrams, and everything has to cancel out on the bottom except for minutes. We always start with the goal. So setting up your problems, if it's tablets, if it's capsules, if it's milligram per minute, microgram per kilogram per minute, whatever it is, that's what you start with. That top goal. Or if it's just one thing by itself, it's that one goal. It's going to go first and on the top. You keep your goals first, they're your top priority. Okay. So we need something that has milligrams in it. Okay. We don't have anything with milligrams in it, it only has grams right here, but they're related. So you can do a conversion. So I need to go from milligrams to grams. So I'll have my unit of measure. So 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. So these are things that equal to each other, equal or relative to each other. Okay. Now I have grams at the bottom. That's not minute. So it has to go. So I need this to go to the top so it'll cancel out. That's when I'll pull this puzzle piece in. So 2 grams over 500 milliliters. But grams was at the bottom. You can flip stuff. It's just like a puzzle piece. You got to move and manipulate and reposition those puzzle pieces so that they fit perfectly to come together to form your picture, right? So you can flip this. It's still equal to each other. It's relative to each other, okay? Now the grams cancel out. You have milliliters on the bottom. It's not minute, right? So now I can use this. So 25 milliliters per hour. And you see my milliliters cancel out. So now I got hour at the bottom. It's still not a minute, right? But I know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Now everything has canceled out. That's gone. That's gone. Gone. Bye bye. Adios. Amigos. Boom. Milligram is on the top. Minute is on the bottom. And now your puzzle is complete. And then you can do the math, which is just simple multiplication and division. Yeah. I just wanted to come on here and say thank you. I passed my exam. Alexandra! Congratulations. I love it. I love it. I love it. When I first started dosage calc, I was scared, but now I look forward to them. On my unit is y'all stop it. Stop. Keep going. What's the answer? I got you on your seat, Desi. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'll do 1,000 times 2 times 25 divided by 500 divided by 60. I think it was like 1.6666 repeating, but it said to round to the nearest tenth. That's very, very important. Very important. Very, very important to round and to label because they will count your answer wrong. And you don't want to do all this beautiful setup and then get your answers wrong because you didn't label or round, okay? So this means that it's going to be repeating forever, right? So if I'm rounding to the 10th place, I start at the 10th place. I go one neighbor to the right. If that number is 5 or more, I raise the score by 1. And then everything else behind it disappears. So it'll be 1.7 milligrams per minute. Okay, where am I looking at? I just went cross-eyed. No, look at that. Ah. Yes, Nurse C helping get them degrees. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Nurse C gets the degrees or at least pass dosage calculations. I can get you that far. I didn't just pass. I passed with a 96. Mm. So after I finished my eliminations, oh y'all, I'm so excited. I love Wednesdays. Wednesday today was hard. Today was a hard sucky Wednesday, and I said I'm not gonna even come on tonight. Y'all just don't even know today started at 6 o'clock this morning. It started rough. But I'm glad I did this session. Thank y'all so much. I'm so proud of every one of y'all who are defeating dosage. Okay? Nurses are coming. Okay. So after I finished my eliminations, I just multiply across as if it was a normal explanation. Yes, you multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, then divide the top by the bottom. I don't do that. I keep everything inside the calculator because if you do all that top number multiplying, you might get a lot of numbers, a lot of zeros. What if you forget to add a zero? To add a zero, what if you leave one off? You know what I'm saying? So I keep everything inside the calculator. It gives you a couple of minutes that it eliminates from you solving a problem because a lot of people have time tests. And yeah, that takes a lot of time to write down all those numbers, write down those numbers, then get the answer. So I just multiply all my numbers across the top, hit divide, enter all my numbers across the bottom, but you hit divide in between the bottom, and then press the equal sign one time. What days do you go live on and what times? Right now it's Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And then some days, if I have like a little sliver of time, I might do just a little random session. So make sure you have your notifications on. And also make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I put the replays on there and I have individual problems broken down. Yep. Buy her book, Practice with the Puzzle Pieces. It made all the difference. Yes, the puzzle pieces. This is good info. Cool. Thank you. My book is in the bio. It's in the bio. It'll take you to my website. All right. So, this is a little booger, but we're going to get through it. Okay? It's something different, but you might see it. So this is another one of those different parts types of things, okay? So loading dose of acetylcysteine, 12 grams, which is available as a 20% solution. 200 milligrams of acetylcysteine per milliliter is prescribed for a client with acetaminophen toxicity. All these tongue twisters tonight. Toxicity. How many milliliters of diluent should be added to the medication to obtain a 1 to 3 concentration? Alrighty. So we're going to use a little bit of dimensional analysis for this, and then we're going to use a little bit of ratio, proportion, and some addition, subtraction. Okay, so that's when I said if you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you can do dosage calculations. All right, so the first part is going to be like the normal part, finding out how much medicine that we need to give them. Okay, so our goal is going to be looking for milliliters. Okay, so we have 12 grams, and then this says 20% solution. Percent solution is always just the amount of grams per 100 milliliters, but they've just went ahead and converted it to 200 milligrams per milliliter. So if they give you the concentration of the medicine, use the concentration. What is our wording? Concentrate on the concentration. Okay. So this part we're not going to use because it's equal to what's in the parentheses. Okay. So we'll do milliliter over 200 milligrams. Top, because our other puzzle piece has grams in it. Whoa, I just put two X's. Slow down. All right. So now we'll do 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. Our milligrams cancel out, and then we can put our 12 grams over 1. I put it over 1 because 12 is just by itself. It does not equal to anything. Anything that's by itself stays by itself. That 1 is a placeholder to show you at the end we multiply across the top, and that's where it'll be. It won't be on the bottom, okay? So you see the units set up the numbers so that they're in the position that they need to be to do the math at the end. So we'll do 1,000 times 12 divided by 200, which would be 60 milliliters, okay? So it says how many milliliters of diluent should be added to dilute this so that it's 1 part medicine, 3 parts of diluent, okay? So when you have the ratio that's like this for your concentration, that 1 part is going to be medicine, okay? 3 parts is going to be normal saline, whatever, bacteriostatic water, however much to dilute it, okay? So this is going to be diluent, okay? So that means that it's 4 parts all together, right? So if this is 1 out of 4 parts, that means that this is 240 milliliters total. So if you have 240 milliliters total and 60 of it is medicine, then how much of it is diluent? 180 milliliters is diluent. make sense? Do I need to draw another picture? Don't make me do it. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, you had me drawing like a little kindergarten, but I had to put it where you could get it. Any questions on that one? Thank you, the realist. The realest one. Y'all are quiet. Y'all are good? Are y'all good? Y'all okay? Did we go out with a bang? Oh, I don't have one more of these yet. Oh, but I do need to do a drops per minute one because somebody had been asking for those and I did not have one tonight. So I'll do another one. Okay. I feel like this can help someone out with their math test anxiety. Yes, 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 yes. I can only figure out the goal. That's why with these are a little different. And some programs don't even touch this part. But that's why I'm trying to introduce different questions. So I give y'all the basic and then all this stuff that I come across when I'm tutoring students. I'm like, oh, that's good. It's like, okay. But it's just seeing how much medicine that it's ordered. So that's the normal part of this that we understood, just reading it. So that 12 grams. What am I doing here? Let's erase and then do that. Boom. So 12 grams was ordered. You had a medicine. So we knew we had to figure out that part. And then when it says this 1 to 3 ratio, for some reason people don't like ratios and fractions. But that's okay. You know, just get through it. So you just need to see that one part of it was medicine, that one part. And we figured that out. So when you had that 1 to 3, this was medicine, and then you had 3 parts that was diluent. So 1 plus 3 is going to be 4 parts total. And we found out how much that one part was, which was 60. Boom. Because we did that just using our regular puzzle pieces set up. And we know that that was 1 out of 4 parts. So we times it by 4, and that's 240 total. So if you got a total amount and then you got a known amount, we need to find the unknown by subtracting the known from the unknown. I mean, the total from the known, or other way around. You know what I'm saying? It's late. Oh, this right here. Okay. Thank y'all for liking and sharing the live. I appreciate it so much. I'm about to pull up. What am I looking for? Drops per minute. Boom. So we can do this one. So I can show y'all the drops per minute. So just forget the 20%. So the 20%, that was what was represented in the parentheses. You see how I said 200 milligrams per milliliter? Percent solution is always going to be the percent of grams per 100 milliliters. Okay? So, yeah. So if you had, and it said that it was available in 200 milligrams per milliliter, so that was 200 milligrams per 1 milliliter. So it was in grams, then it would have been reduced down. So it was just all the way reduced down. It just gave you the percent of the solution. So that was extra. It was fluff. Anytime you see something that's like broken down or in parentheses that's like under it, because like a lot of the times the medicine bottles will give you like 150 mg's per 5, and then they'll break it down. And you're like, well, which one do I use? You use either one of them because it's just reduced down to the lowest terms. Both of them will work. They both equal to each other. It's just reduced. Okay. All right. So this one, drops per minute. Remember, I told you can give an IV two ways. You give it on the IV pump, or you can give it via gravity. This is gonna be gravity, okay? Because you gotta count the drops in the chamber per minute. It's not gonna be ran on a infusion device continuously. So the provider orders drug X, 250 milligrams in 500 milliliters of D5W to infuse over 2 hours 3 times a day. That's what TID means, right? The drop factor of the administration set is 20 drops per milliliter. Calculate the number of drops per minute to infuse the ordered dose. Okay? So, what is our goal? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? Drops per minute, right? Drops on the top, raindrop, drop top, Migo said something, right? All right, so volume over time. What is your volume from here? What's your volume? Mm-hmm. 500 mLs. What is your infusion time? Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't need the milligrams that's swimming around in the D5W. Once the D5W infuses, those milligrams that's swimming in it are going in the patient's veins too. Okay? That's why it's volume over time. The goal didn't ask anything about a gram, microgram, milligram, nothing. Okay? It's fluff. Don't use it. It won't fit. You don't need that. You need volume over time. And you also need your drop factor. You have to have a drop factor for your gravity problems because you're looking for drops per minute. A drop factor is how many drops will fall in that chamber that would deliver 1 milliliter of medicine or solution. Okay, so it's 20 drops per milliliter. It'll always be drops per milliliter for your drop factor. Okay, now since we are looking for drops on the top, that's the goal, right? What are we going to start with? Drops. Always start with this goal. It'll make your life easier. You don't have to, but it'll be easier for you to. Just as long as you get everything to cross out and make sure that it's on top and the bottom. But if you start what you're looking for, you don't have to go and find it. Then everything else just kind of sets up so that it'll cross out. Okay. Wakanda. Thank you. All right. So boom. We got milliliter at the bottom now, right? So we'll put our milliliters at the top. 500 mLs over 2 hours. Milliliters cancels out. Now we have hours at the bottom. My goal is minute. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Puzzle complete. Y'all see, I don't convert jack. I let the equation do all of the work for me. I'm just gonna put my known conversions in there and let it work it out. I do one computation. That's it. And then I don't even write down the numbers. You see, I keep it in the calculator, right? So we've got 83.333333333, right? So when you have drops per minute, normally you would round this to the whole number because you cannot divide a drop. You either have a drop or not, right? So if our answer was 83.33333, then what would be our final answer? There you go. Y'all did it. Yay! Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, we got up to 14K. I'll take it. Can you explain how I got the answer? Yeah. So once you, are you talking about like the number part of it? So once you get the equation set up, your puzzle is all together, right? You got drops on the top and minutes on the bottom. Now you take the numbers. You do 20 times 500, and that'll give you a number. Then you do 2 times 60. I don't put the ones in there. They don't make a difference. They don't make a difference. So you're like, well, what about the ones? What about it? Anything times one or divided by one is going to be itself. So I just leave the ones out. So anywho, at the bottom, you do 2 times 60, which is 120. So then you divide the top by the bottom, and then that's your answer. But I use the calculator trick. So the calculator trick is you enter all of your numbers across the top with multiply in between. And then so it'll be 20 times 500, right? Then you hit divide. So it'll pull up a number after you hit divide. Don't press equal. You go to the bottom and I'll put in 2. Then I'll hit divide. Then equals. So all of my numbers across the top, I hit multiply in between. All of my numbers on the bottom, I hit divide in between. I hit the equal sign one time. One time, hey, strumming my pain, hey. This is so much easier to understand than how I was taught, I bet. I've heard it before. And it's fun too. Once you learn the puzzle pieces and the rules to it, it gets fun. Like you have to slow yourself down from crossing stuff out. Don't go past the goal. Stop once you get to the goal because you want to keep on going. But stop. Stop when you get to the goal because that's what we're looking for. So, yes, 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 yes. Any questions? Any more questions? Y'all make sure y'all go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, please. Like something, chat something, something, something. I appreciate it so greatly. The replay will be on there, so let me go ahead and cut that off. My TikTokers, my YouTubers, thank you. So let's see, YouTube.